Welcome, dear listener, to a quiet moment, a gentle space where the world's ancient stories unfold slowly, serenely. Tonight we'll embark on a journey into the heart of one of nature's most enigmatic creations, a creature so wonderfully strange, so uniquely evolved, that it seems to whisper secrets from a time long, long forgotten. We'll delve into the curious life of the platypus, an animal that has puzzled scientists and enchanted imaginations for centuries, and in doing so, we hope to guide your mind into a state of profound calm, a peaceful drift towards sleep. Imagine, if you will, the bustling world of the late 18th century, a time of grand exploration and burgeoning scientific discovery. European naturalists, with their keen eyes and eager minds, were charting new territories, uncovering creatures previously unimagined, each specimen a testament to the Earth's boundless biodiversity. It was during this era, specifically in the year 1798, that something truly extraordinary arrived in the hands of European scientists, a specimen that would confound, intrigue, and even provoke outright disbelief. This was the moment the platypus first came to the attention of those who sought to categorize and understand the natural world through a Western lens. When they gazed upon this peculiar animal, many were not immediately convinced of its reality. The platypus, as it lay before them, presented such an astonishing array of features that some esteemed thinkers of the time suspected an elaborate hoax, a clever prankster's handiwork. It was not, after all, an uncommon occurrence in those days of rapid natural discovery for someone to attempt to mash together parts of different animals to create a fake, a Frankenstein's monster of the animal kingdom, designed to fool the unwary or the overly eager. But the platypus, with its distinctive bill, its webbed feet, and its fur, was undeniably real, and its very existence left anatomists scratching their heads in bewildered fascination. What exactly was this creature? They pondered its attributes, one by one. Here was an animal covered in a dense, soft fur, much like a mammal, yet it possessed a bill, remarkably similar to that of a duck, and its feet too were webbed, suggesting an aquatic lifestyle. But the deepest mystery, perhaps, lay in its reproductive strategy. This creature, they would later discover, laid eggs, and to add another layer of astonishing complexity, the males of the species could secrete venom. A mammal? A duck? Some sort of furry reptile? These were the questions that echoed in the minds of those European scientists, questions that truly reflected the platypus's defiance of easy classification. Yet it's important to remember that these questions, born of curiosity and scientific inquiry, were not new. Long before European naturalists stumbled upon this marvel, the Aboriginal people of Australia, with their deep connection to the land and their profound understanding of its creatures, had been asking similar questions, weaving stories and wisdom around this unique animal for countless generations. Their ancient narratives often provided a different kind of understanding, a mythic explanation that resonated with the platypus's unusual combination of traits. One such Aboriginal story beautifully illustrates this, telling of a union between a duck and a water rat, a narrative that captures the essence of the platypus's mixed ancestry and its amphibious nature in a way that is both poetic and deeply insightful. It suggests a harmony between disparate elements, a coming together of different worlds to create something entirely new and marvelous. In the language of modern science, after much careful study and contemplation, we have ultimately classified the platypus as a mammal. But this classification comes with an important asterisk, a fascinating nuance. It belongs to a very special, rather exclusive group of mammals known as monotremes. These are the egg-laying mammals, and astonishingly, there are only two kinds of animals in the entire world that fit this description: the platypus itself, and its close relative, the echidna, of which there are 4 distinct species: This unique trait, the laying of eggs, coupled with its other somewhat reptilian characteristics, has continued to make scientists pause and wonder, to scratch their heads, as they seek to understand precisely where the platypus truly fits on the grand, intricate tree of life. As the continents slowly divided, drifting apart over unimaginable spans of time, and as the branches of life's great tree diverged, extending into myriad forms, the platypus appears to have taken its own singularly special route, a path less traveled, an evolutionary detour that has given rise to something truly extraordinary. But just like with all the remarkable adaptations we see in the animal kingdom, there must be a profound purpose, a deep evolutionary logic, behind all the platypus's seeming strangeness. What ancient environmental challenge, what specific set of pressures, was this unique combination of traits the perfect answer to? What evolutionary question did the platypus so elegantly resolve through its unusual form? To unravel this mystery, to truly appreciate the platypus's profound singularity, we need to gently rewind the immense clock of geological time, tracing the threads of life back through millions upon millions of years. If you were to look into any standard textbook on biology, you would typically find the definition of a mammal described as a warm-blooded vertebrate animal that possesses fur, secretes milk to nourish its young, and crucially, generally gives birth to live young. That word typically is indeed the key, the subtle hint that nature often delights in defying our neat classifications. For the platypus, as we've noted, is one of only 2 mammals on Earth that lays eggs. Its only companion in this ancient reproductive strategy is, fittingly, the only other kind of monotreme, the echidna, a fascinating spiny creature that shares its Australian homeland and its unique place on the evolutionary tree. When the time arrives for a female platypus to lay her eggs, she undertakes a diligent, purposeful task. She will carefully dig her burrow, a safe, secluded haven, often deep within the banks of a river or stream. Once inside, she meticulously seals herself in, creating a private, protective chamber where she can attend to the tender miracle of new life. Here she lays her soft, leathery eggs, typically 1 to 3 of them, and then, in a beautiful act of maternal devotion, she curls her body around them, tucking them gently between her warm body and her tail, providing a constant source of warmth and protection. This tender incubation continues for approximately 10 days, a brief yet vital period, until the tiny vulnerable platypus young hatch from their shells. From this point onwards, the platypus mother's behavior aligns more closely with what we typically expect from mammals. She begins the essential process of nursing her young, providing them with rich, sustaining milk. However, unlike most mammals who possess teats or nipples, the platypus has no such structures. Instead, the milk is secreted through specialized pores on her skin, forming a nourishing patch that the young can lap up directly. This unique method of lactation further underscores its position as a living bridge between different evolutionary pathways. For 3 to 4 months, the devoted mother will continue to nourish her growing offspring until they have developed sufficiently, gaining the strength and the essential skills needed to venture out into the aquatic world, capable of swimming and foraging independently. To truly grasp how and why this extraordinary egg-laying ability persists in a mammal, we must embark on a much deeper historical journey, winding back the immense clock of life, not just for millions but for hundreds of millions of years. Let us transport our minds back in time, approximately 340 million years ago, to an Earth teeming with early life. It was during this ancient epoch that the very first amniotes made their appearance. These were small, agile, lizard-like creatures, often scuttling through the primordial forests. Amniotes are a significant group of 4-legged vertebrates, fundamentally defined by a remarkable evolutionary innovation, the presence of a protective membrane, or amnion, which envelops and safeguards the developing embryo. The amniotic egg was nothing short of a revolutionary invention in the history of life on Earth. Before its advent, life on land was severely restricted. Fish, of course, are entirely aquatic, and amphibians, though they can live on land as adults, must return to water to lay their delicate, unprotected eggs. This fundamental requirement meant that they could never truly venture far from freshwater sources. But with the evolution of the amniotic egg, everything changed. This robust, self-contained package, with its internal membranes providing moisture and protection, its yolk supplying nourishment, and its outer shell offering structural integrity, finally allowed reptiles to colonize the dry land, to spread far beyond the banks of rivers and the edges of ponds. They could now lay their eggs almost anywhere on dry land, opening up vast new ecological niches. With this newfound freedom, amniotes soon spread far and wide across the Earth's ancient landmasses, thriving in diverse environments. They quickly rose to become the dominant land vertebrates, their forms diversifying and evolving over vast spans of time. And then, around 315 million years ago, a pivotal moment occurred. These successful amniotes underwent a significant evolutionary split, diverging into two major groups of four-legged vertebrates, both of which still exist and flourish today. One of these branches gave rise to the modern reptiles, creatures like snakes, lizards, crocodiles, and tortoises. And eventually, from within this lineage, the birds also evolved, descendants of reptilian ancestors. The other incredibly important branch included a fascinating array of creatures known as the mammal-like reptiles. These were not quite mammals as we know them today, but they possessed a unique blend of reptilian and mammalian characteristics, representing a transitional stage in evolution. It was from this remarkable lineage of mammal-like reptiles that modern mammals, including ourselves, would eventually evolve. As this mammalian branch continued its long evolutionary journey, it gradually developed further, refining its reproductive strategies. Over millions of years, the amniotic egg, once laid externally, began to grow and develop inside the protective sanctuary of the mother's womb. This profound shift gave rise to internal pregnancies, a strategy that offered increased protection and nourishment to the developing young, culminating in the birth of live young, a hallmark of most mammalian species today. However, amidst this grand narrative of mammalian evolution, one extraordinary branch of mammals chose a different path, or rather, continued on an older one. These were the monotremes, our egg-laying mammals. They diverged from the main mammalian lineage much earlier, an event that occurred approximately 200 million years ago. For reasons that are deeply embedded in their ancient history, they never acquired the ability to sustain an internal pregnancy, and crucially, they never relinquished their ancestral egg-laying ability. They preserved this ancient trait, a living testament to a time when all mammals, in their very distant past, reproduced through eggs. The secrets of this evolutionary divergence have been further illuminated by the remarkable advances in modern science, particularly through the sequencing of the platypus's genome. Analysis of its sex cells has revealed a large number of shared genes between platypuses and birds, a fascinating echo of their distant shared amniote ancestry. In particular, the platypus genome retains multiple copies of the vitellogenin gene. This gene is critically important because it codes for egg protein, which is a vital precursor to egg yolk. And egg yolk, in turn, plays an indispensable role in sustaining and nourishing developing embryos within an egg. While platypuses possess fewer copies of this vitellogenin gene compared to birds and reptiles, the very fact that they possess it at all is significant. Most other mammals, those that give birth to live young, have lost this gene entirely, as their embryos no longer rely on egg yolk for sustenance, instead receiving nourishment directly from the mother's bloodstream. The presence of the vitellogenin gene in the platypus genome means that it retains the fundamental genetic machinery to produce protein-rich eggs. However, the reduced number of copies suggests that their young, after hatching, may be less reliant on the egg protein for their complete development than, say, a bird or a reptile hatchling. This nuanced understanding makes perfect sense when we remember another crucial aspect of platypus biology. After hatching from their eggs, the young are also fed via lactation, receiving milk from their mother. So the platypus employs a unique dual strategy, an ancient reptilian-like egg-laying phase, followed by a thoroughly mammalian milk-feeding phase. The laying of eggs, therefore, is not simply an oddity, it's a profound hangover, a deep evolutionary echo from their reptilian ancestors, a trait that was retained while other mammalian traits evolved around it. And for a very long period, this particular strategy served the monotremes exceptionally well. Indeed, for a considerable span of geological time, the monotremes were not just present, but they were the dominant mammals across the vast continent that we now know as Australia. They thrived, carving out their niches, evolving and diversifying in relative isolation. That is, until a new wave of mammalian competitors arrived, their marsupial cousins, bringing with them different, perhaps more efficient, evolutionary strategies. The story of the marsupials begins far away, in what is now the continent of South America. From there they undertook an immense slow migration, traveling across ancient land bridges and continental connections, eventually reaching the landmass that would become Australia. This grand journey occurred approximately 70 million years ago, a testament to the dynamic nature of Earth's geology and the incredible dispersal capabilities of life. The marsupials brought with them distinct evolutionary advantages. Their bodies were often more efficient at locomotion, allowing for quicker movement and potentially better hunting or escape strategies. But perhaps their most significant advantage lay in their reproductive strategy, internal pregnancies. While still giving birth to relatively undeveloped young, these offspring continued their development within the protective warmth of a mother's pouch, where they could suckle milk in a secure environment. This internal protection meant that marsupial mothers could better safeguard their vulnerable young from predators and environmental hazards. And so the marsupials, with their different adaptations, began to outcompete the monotremes on almost every ecological front. Slowly but surely, over vast stretches of time, almost all the ancient monotreme lineages faded, succumbing to the intense competition. All but two, that is. The echidna and the platypus persisted, tenacious survivors in a changing world, becoming the last living representatives of their ancient lineage. So, the compelling question arises, why did these two remarkable creatures survive when all their monotreme relatives did not? What unique traits allowed them to persist in the face of such intense competition from the more evolutionarily advanced marsupials? One powerful hypothesis, a whisper from the past, suggests that the platypus's enduring success can be attributed to its extraordinary ability to take to the water. The aquatic environment became its sanctuary, a domain where the marsupials with their pouch-dwelling young simply could not follow. Think for a moment about the challenges of an aquatic existence for a marsupial. When marsupial babies are born, they are incredibly tiny and undeveloped, often little more than embryonic forms. They must immediately crawl into their mother's pouch, where they attach to a teat and remain for weeks or even months, continuing their development and suckling milk. If a marsupial mother were to venture into deep water for extended periods, her pouch and its precious contents would inevitably be submerged, leading to the drowning of her vulnerable offspring. This fundamental constraint prevented marsupials from successfully colonizing aquatic environments, leaving a critical niche open. But the platypus, with its ancient reproductive strategy, faced no such impediment. Its eggs are laid in a secure, dry nest, deep within a burrow on the riverbank. Once the eggs are safely deposited, and the burrow sealed, The platypus is free to spend extensive periods in the water, foraging and hunting. This freedom from the constraints of a submerged pouch allowed the platypus to exploit a unique environmental niche, actively avoiding direct competition and predation from the marsupials, and effectively securing its place in the Australian ecosystem. And then there's a feature that allows the platypus to remain submerged for an impressive length of time, sometimes up to 2 minutes. Its remarkable ability to become watertight when necessary. When it dives, it possesses special folds of skin that can be drawn tightly over its ears, effectively sealing them off from the water. Simultaneously, it can close its nostrils, ensuring that no water enters its respiratory passages. This ingenious sealing mechanism allows it to maintain its breath and focus entirely on its underwater activities, undisturbed by the flow around it. Despite its incredible prowess as an underwater hunter, here's another fascinating paradox. The platypus nearly completely closes its eyes when diving. This might seem counterintuitive for an animal that needs to locate prey, but it highlights an even more astonishing adaptation. The platypus possesses a sixth sense, an extraordinary perceptual ability that almost no other mammal on Earth shares. It doesn't need its eyesight to hunt. It relies on something far more ancient and subtle. One of the most distinct and recognizable parts of the platypus, the feature that first sparked confusion and wonder among European scientists, is undoubtedly its bill. Its iconic shape is wide and flat, often likened to that of a duck. But unlike a duck's hard, keratinous bill, the platypus's bill is described as flexible, rubbery, and even a little fleshy. Its surface is said to feel remarkably soft, almost like suede to the touch, a unique texture that hints at its profound sensory capabilities. This isn't just a mouth part. The bill is the platypus's primary hunting tool, its most sophisticated instrument for navigating and understanding its underwater world. The platypus can hunt with its eyes completely closed because its bill is exquisitely sensitive in two key ways. It is both mechanoreceptive and electroreceptive. Let's gently explore what these fascinating terms mean. Mechanoreceptive simply means being sensitive to external mechanical stimuli, such as touch or pressure. In the case of the platypus, its bill is densely packed with specialized mechanoreceptors, often referred to as push rods. Imagine these as tiny, incredibly sensitive columns of densely packed cells. Each push rod is capable of moving independently of the surrounding skin. When even the slightest pressure or vibration is applied to one of these push rods, it acts like a delicate lever, triggering a nerve ending at the bottom of the column, sending a signal to the platypus's brain. The sensitivity of these receptors is truly astonishing. The pressure doesn't have to be large at all. Even the most minuscule tremors or water disturbances can be felt and interpreted through the water. The bill is so incredibly sensitive that it can detect the movements of a freshwater shrimp from a distance of 15 to 20 centimeters away, simply by sensing the subtle displacements in the water caused by the shrimp's motion. It's like having a highly advanced sonar system integrated into its very face. But the bill's sensory abilities extend even further into the realm of the truly extraordinary, encompassing what is known as electroreception. All living animals, when they move their muscles, generate faint electric signals. These tiny bioelectric fields extend outwards from their bodies, imperceptible to most creatures. However, the platypus bill is uniquely equipped to sense these minute electric fields, precisely detecting the electrical currents originating from its prey's muscle contractions. The bill contains an estimated 70,000 glands, tiny structures that are believed to assist in this incredible electroreceptive function. The mechanism of electroreception in the platypus bill bears a striking resemblance to that found in certain highly specialized fish, such as the elasmobranchs, a group that includes the formidable hammerhead shark. When an electrical current, however faint, travels through the water and emanates from potential prey, it is detected by secretions from these glands in the platypus's bill. These secretions, acting as conductive pathways, transmit the electrical impulses to the delicate nerve endings situated just beneath the bill's surface. The brain then processes these signals, creating a detailed electrical map of its surroundings, allowing the platypus to pinpoint the exact location of its submerged prey, even in complete darkness or murky water. What makes this sensory apparatus even more remarkable is its intricate organization. The approximately 100,000 electroreceptors and mechanoreceptors on the platypus bill are not haphazardly scattered, they are arranged in a beautifully precise striped pattern. Bands of electroreceptors alternate with bands of mechanoreceptors, creating a highly efficient sensory array that can simultaneously detect both mechanical disturbances and electrical signals. This integrated design allows the platypus to build an incredibly rich and detailed picture of its underwater environment, a symphony of touch and electricity that guides its every movement. While electroreception is quite common among fish, having evolved multiple times in various lineages, its presence in mammals is exceedingly rare. To date, it has only been definitively found in 3 mammalian species: the platypus, its monotreme cousin, the echidna, and the Guyana dolphin. This scarcity underscores the platypus's unique evolutionary trajectory. Interestingly, a comparison between the platypus and the echidna further illustrates this. Platypus bills can have up to 70,000 electroreceptors, a truly staggering number, reflecting its deeply aquatic lifestyle. In contrast, the long-billed echidnas possess only about 200 electroreceptors, and the short-billed echidnas have around 400. This stark difference allows us a rare glimpse into evolution in progress. As echidnas have gradually moved back onto a more terrestrial existence, their electroreceptors are being slowly selected against. Such a refined sensing ability, while invaluable in semi-aquatic environments, becomes far less useful on dry land, and so, over time, the genetic predisposition for it gradually diminishes. It's crucial to note that this electroreception in the platypus is not a remnant inherited from some early fish-like ancestor. Instead, it evolved completely independently, a remarkable example of convergent evolution. Different lineages, facing similar evolutionary pressures, in this case, the need to hunt efficiently in murky aquatic environments, arrived at the same ingenious solution, developing electroreception through distinct evolutionary pathways. It's a testament to nature's boundless creativity, its capacity to arrive at similar innovations through vastly different routes. But electroreception is not the only peculiar feature of the platypus that is rarely encountered in the mammalian world. Indeed, the platypus holds yet another surprise that warrants a gentle word of caution. Should you ever have the exceedingly rare opportunity to encounter a male platypus up close, you would be wise to ensure its back legs remain out of reach. Male platypuses possess sharp, hollow spurs located on their hind feet. These spurs are not merely defensive tools, they are connected to venom glands situated in their abdomen. And while the venom they secrete is not typically lethal to humans, its effects can be quite nasty, to say the least. Those who have experienced a platypus envenomation report symptoms such as intense nausea, bouts of cold sweats, swelling of the lymph nodes, and most notably, immediate and excruciating pain. This pain is often described as agonizing and persistent, stubbornly resistant to conventional painkillers, lasting for days or even weeks. Venomous mammals are, today, remarkably rare, a true anomaly in the mammalian kingdom. We know of only a handful of species that possess this ancient trait. Consider, for example, the slow lories, the only known venomous primate. This deceptively cute creature utilizes its venom as a defensive mechanism, primarily to deter potential predators. Another example is the American short-tailed shrew, a tiny industrious mammal that employs its venom not for defense, but to immobilize its insect prey, allowing it to subdue and consume insects larger than itself. It is widely thought that, with the evolutionary development of more efficient means of dispatching prey, such as sharp teeth and formidable claws, most mammals evolved much faster and more direct ways of killing or incapacitating their targets. Venom, by its very nature, often requires time to take effect, a delay that could prove disadvantageous in the rapid movements of predation or escape. And so, over vast stretches of evolutionary time, venomous capabilities largely became evolutionarily redundant for the vast majority of mammals, slowly fading from their genetic blueprints. Among the few mammals that did retain their venom, the very different methods of venom delivery suggest that this ability evolved independently in each lineage, rather than being a shared ancient trait. Take the slow lorises we just mentioned. They can appear incredibly endearing when they raise their arms high in the air, almost as if they are pleading for a hug. But don't be fooled by this seemingly innocent gesture. This unique arm-raising posture is actually how they access their venom. It's produced by glands located in their armpits, and by raising their arms they can lick the venom. This venom then mixes with their saliva and settles into tiny grooves present in their teeth, ready to be injected into anything unfortunate enough to receive a bite from the slow loris. The short-tailed shrew, on the other hand, also has grooves in its teeth, but its venom is produced and stored directly in its saliva, ready-made for delivery with a bite. Both of these methods of delivery are distinctly different from that of the platypus, which delivers its venom through specialized spurs on its hind feet, a unique system among venomous mammals. Yet, here is another fascinating twist in the platypus's story, a discovery that further deepens its mystery. A recent study delving into the genetic makeup of platypus venom found that many of the proteins present in its composition are strikingly similar to those found in reptile venom. This is a truly astonishing finding, considering that the evolutionary lineage of reptiles and mammals diverged some 315 million years ago, an immense chasm of time separating their common ancestry. This observation immediately begs a profound question. Does this mean that platypus venom is an ancient evolutionary leftover, a relic inherited directly from its reptilian ancestors, a trait that somehow persisted through millions of years of mammalian evolution? Or is it yet another remarkable example of independent, convergent evolution, where distinct lineages separated by vast evolutionary distances arrive at similar biological solutions? To unravel this particular enigma, scientists turned once again to the power of genome sequencing, meticulously examining the platypus's genetic code. What they discovered was truly revelatory. The platypus's ability to produce and deliver venom appears to be linked to a duplication in a specific set of reptilian genes. And here's the most astounding part. These are the same reptilian genes that underwent the same kind of duplication independently in snakes, long after reptiles and mammals had already split in the grand evolutionary tree of life. This powerful genetic evidence strongly suggests that platypus venom is not an inherited relic, but rather an unlikely and compelling example of convergent evolution. In this incredible instance, two vastly different lineages, reptiles, specifically snakes, and the platypus, developed strikingly similar venoms, despite not sharing a common venomous ancestor for hundreds of millions of years. It's a testament to the powerful recurrent themes that arise in the grand narrative of evolution. Despite this profound understanding of how the venom evolved, scientists still don't know the exact reasons why platypuses possess these venom spurs. However, based on observations of their behavior, it is strongly hypothesized that male platypuses primarily use their spurs in mating practices, particularly during the breeding season. The venom may serve as a formidable weapon in territorial disputes, and aggressive confrontations with rival males, allowing them to defend their territory and their access to mates from other platypuses. It's a powerful deterrent, ensuring their dominance in the quiet, watery world they inhabit. As we gently reflect on all these extraordinary attributes, it becomes abundantly clear that the platypus is far more than just a funny-looking animal, an amusing oddity of the natural world. Instead, it stands as a testament to nature's profound ingenuity, a highly adapted creature, perfectly suited to its unique environment, a living mosaic of ancient traits and brilliant innovations. Some of its seemingly bizarre features are indeed remnants, whispers from an ancient time, echoes of an evolutionary past, shared with creatures vastly different from itself. These are the threads that connect it to a story that began hundreds of millions of years ago. Others of its remarkable traits, however, are more recent evolutionary inventions, adaptations that arose independently, yet, by a wonderful coincidence of nature, happen to be similar to those found in fish, in birds, and in reptiles. It is, in essence, a wild and unlikely mashup of characteristics, a living embodiment of evolutionary experimentation, a unique blend that allows the platypus to sit proudly and singularly on its very own, exquisitely intricate branch of the evolutionary tree. But even with all that we have uncovered and understood about the platypus, we also know with a sense of quiet certainty that there is still so much more of this intricate puzzle to put together. The world of scientific discovery is a journey without end, and scientists are constantly stumbling across new, often unexpected, and always intriguing findings about this amazing animal. Just recently, for example, researchers made an accidental discovery that added another layer of mystery to the platypus's already complex story. They found that platypus skin glows under ultraviolet light, a phenomenon known as biofluorescence. Why this occurs, what purpose it serves, we still do not know. It is yet another secret held within the platypus, a quiet question mark awaiting its answer. It is likely that there are many, many more secrets hiding within the platypus, waiting patiently to be revealed, waiting for curious minds to uncover them. We will undoubtedly continue to discover new aspects of this incredible creature for years to come, each new finding adding to its legend, deepening our appreciation for its singular existence. The platypus, in all its wondrous uniqueness, is deeply intertwined with the land it calls home. Australia's extraordinary landscape and its isolated geographical position have played an indispensable role in shaping the platypus into the creature it is today. Australia is, quite literally, teeming with unparalleled biodiversity, a living laboratory of evolution. Its remarkable patchwork of different climates, ranging from lush tropical forests to vast hostile deserts, from temperate woodlands to vibrant tropical reefs, combined with its profound isolation from other major landmasses for millions of years, has given rise to some of the world's strangest, most iconic, and most wondrous creatures. Indeed, an astonishing 80% of the plants and animals found in Australia are endemic. They are unique to this continent, found nowhere else on Earth. This unique evolutionary journey, these surprising adaptations, these whispers from ancient times, they all contribute to the platypus's profound ability to inspire awe and wonder. As you gently consider the remarkable story of this creature, allowing your mind to drift and unwind, remember the quiet tenacity of life, its